Johnson Male Avrami Kolmogorov equation. We call it as Avrami equation. So this Avrami equation relates the rate of phase change x of nucleation and growth type of phase change and the elapsed time t. So the relation is x is equal to 1 minus exponential minus k multiplied by t raised to the power of n, where n is the numerical exponent and k is the pre-exponent exponential factor. In deriving Avrami equation, we make the following assumptions. Nucleation occurs at random and homogeneously throughout the entire untransformed portion of the material. The growth rate does not depend on the extent of the transformation, so it occurs at a constant rate, and growth is uniform in all directions. This Avrami equation can be derived easily by making use of the concept of extended volume. Extended volume. The nuclei grow with time and they may impinge on each other at large values of x. Tracking the changing dimensions of each individual nuclei with time while accounting for possible impingement, and all this for calculating the progress of transformation x is a formidable task. Concept of extended volume was introduced and used to circumvent this difficult task. When the concept of extended volume is utilized, the complications originating from impingement can be bypassed. Look at the figure here. So the figure illustrates the state of impingement of four product phases or nuclei that are generated in the order 1 to 4 of different intervals of time, and all of them going at a constant rate, at the same rate. So you can see that there is a lot of impingement. So consequently, the calculation of x in this instant, looking at each particle and then trying at where exactly it is located and how it is growing and how it is affected when other particles impinging on this particle is a difficult task. So instead, when we talk about extended volume, nuclei are assumed to grow freely and unaffected by the growth of other particles without bothering about the impingement. So they grow to attain their virtual volumes Vi, I is equal to 1 to Z, because Z is the number of particles. The sum of virtual volumes over all nuclei is called as the extended volume Ex of the product phase. To arrive at this equation, consider the case where the product phase is going from a random distribution of nuclei. Let these particles have respectively have virtual values Vi, where I can go from 1 to Z. The key point is this: the ratio of unchanged proportion or region 1 minus x is equal to the probability that an arbitrarily chosen volume does not belong to any of already found product particles. At a time t there be Z nuclei, therefore 1 minus x is equal to V0 minus V1 by V0 multiplied by V0 minus V2 by V0, and this multiplication is up to V0 minus Vz by V0. In fact, V0 minus Vi by V0, where I is any value between 1 to z, is the probability that 1 minus x does not include ith particle volume. Taking logarithm on both sides, ln 1 minus x is equal to ln 1 minus v1 by v0 plus ln 1 minus v2 by v0 up to ln 1 minus vz by v0. Here ln is natural logarithm. When Vi is considerably less than V0, that is the extended volume of a particular particle is considerably less than the overall volume for any nuclei, we can mathematically write ln 1 minus Vi by V0 is equal to approximately minus Vi by V0. So we can make these approximations for all the terms in the previous equation to get ln 1 minus x is equal to minus V1 by V0 minus V2 by V0 and so on and so forth up to minus Vz by V0. So which is equal to minus of sum of these Vi or I is equal to 1 to z by V0 is equal to minus V extended by V0. So consequently what we have got is ln 1 minus x is equal to minus V extended by V0. Taking anti-logarithms, so we have got 1 minus x is equal to exponential of minus V extended by V0, or x is equal to 1 minus exponential of minus V extended by V0. Nucleation may occur at once initially at t0, or it may occur sequentially over time, and the rate of nucleation is assumed as constant. It can be seen that the ratio of extended volume, that is V extended by V0, need to go up to nearly 3 to get a fractional conversion of the initial volume into final volume of 0.95. Now, using this extended volume concept and the equations we have derived, now we derive the Avrami equation for the following two situations. The first one, when N0 nuclei are generated all at once in a unit volume at t is equal to 0, that is what is known as the simultaneous nucleation, and the nuclei shall exhibit spherical growth. The second situation which we are going to deal with is when nuclei are generated one after another at a constant rate of I. So units of the nucleation rate are number per volume per second. So here number, so the units are meter minus raised to the power of minus 3 and time raised to the power of -1. And all the nuclei exhibit a constant but spherical growth rate. So now we will consider the simultaneous nucleation. When N0 nuclei are generated all at once in a unit volume at time t is equal to 0, and all nuclei grow at constant linear growth rate r dot, the extended volume is V extended is equal to N0 into 4 pi by 3 multiplied by r dot into t. That is a linear dimension which is raised to a power of 3. So consequently we have V extended is equal to N0 into 4 pi by 3 r cube into t cube, and V0, that is the unit volume, that is V0 we are taking it as unit total volume. Substituting this into the equation, x is equal to 1 minus exponential minus v exponential by v0 is equal to 1 minus exponential minus n0 4 by 3 r dot cube t cube divided by 1. So is equal to 1 minus exponential minus kt cube, where k is equal to n0 4 pi by 3 r dot cube. This is for simultaneous nucleation. So x is varying as a function of cube as a related to the time, as a x varies as a function of t cube. Now we talk about sequential nucleation. The number of nuclei generated between the time tau and tau plus d tau is V0 I into d tau, where I is the rate of nucleation. The volume of this nuclei at the time t is 4 pi by 3 into cube of r dot into t minus tau multiplied by V0, that is the total volume, and I, that is nucleation rate, and d tau. The total volume, total extended volume of all nuclei generated up to time t is therefore is given by V extended is equal to V0 I 4 pi by 3 r dot cube and integral 0 to t minus tau cube d tau is equal to 5 by 3 r dot cube v0 I t raised to power of 4. Now we substitute for vx. So consequently 1 minus exponential minus vx by v0 will become 1 minus exponential minus v0 I multiplied by pi by 3 t raised to power of 4 multiplied by r dot raised to power of 3 divided by v0 is equal to 1 minus exponential of minus pi by 3 I t raised to power of 4 and r dot raised to power of 3. So the difference between when the nuclei have formed all at once initially, or when the nuclei are formed in sequential fashion, is this: the exponent of time in the simultaneous nucleation is 3. When the nucleation occurs in a sequential fashion, the x varies as a function of t raised to power of 4. In this slide, the variation of x with time as per the Avram equation is a sigmoidal curve. The larger the index n is, the narrower is the time width of phase change. The curve will become a vertically elongated S as n becomes very large. In the figure A, the rate of structure change x is plotted as a function of time t for different values of pre-exponential factor. As the exponential factor becomes larger, so the sigmoidal curve becomes more stiff or it occupies, it takes place over a smaller time interval. The figure B, on the other hand, shows the same curve for a constant value of pre-exponential factor k, but for different values of n. So what you see is the curves are plotted for n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3, and n is equal to 4. You can see that when n is equal to 1, the rate of structure change becomes significant after only long initial incubation period, and the incubation period decreases as n increases. Not only that, the span or interval over which the rate of transformation changes from 0 to nearly 1 is this interval becomes smaller as n is increased. The change of this table gives the values of exponent of t in the Avram equation for two different kinds of growth phenomena. So growth can occur by interface controlled growth or by diffusion controlled growth. So the first part of the table here lists the n values for interface controlled growth, allotrophic transformations, and eutectoid transformation. So strictly speaking, eutectoid transformations partly interface controlled and partly diffusion controlled, but here it is taken as if it occurs by interface controlled growth. So for constant nucleation rate, wherein the phase change occurs by interface controlled growth, so the n is equal to 4. Nucleation rate increasing with respect to time, so then n is more than 4. Nucleation rate, suppose if the nucleation rate decreases with respect to time, then the n in that instant of the Avram equation will be between 3 and 4. If the number of nuclei saturate with respect to time, after some interval, then the interface controlled growth, the n becomes 3. When the nucleation occurs at green edges, that is heterogeneous nucleation, then n is equal to 2. If the nucleation occurs at green surfaces, again heterogeneous nucleation, n is equal to 1. If we compare the n values for growth process which occur by interface controlled growth and diffusion controlled growth process, then we see that n values are smaller for growth process which the diffusion controlled growth. So in the case of diffusion controlled growth, with constant nucleation rate n is equal to 2.5, and if the nucleation rate increasing, it is more than 2.5. The nucleation rate is decreasing, it is between 1.5 and 2.5. And if the number of nuclei which are available is limited, and there is a saturation of the nucleation sites, then n is 1.5. If the nucleation is again occurs at needles or plates, again a heterogeneous nucleation condition, so n is equal to 1. If the nucleation is occurring on the dislocations, then n is equal to 0.75. So the numerical index n, numerical exponent n, to some degree indicates the type of the growth process mechanism which is involved in a particular deformation, so a particular growth process.